almost Friday, baby. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome. 2 days in a row. This is a fucking miracle. A Christmas miracle. Hello. Let me do this properly. How are we doing this fine Wednesday / Thursday / Tuesday, depending on where you're watching me. I don't think I have anybody watching from Japan or the furthest coasts of California, at least at this hour. Welcome. It is Wednesday, my dudes, but I will do my best to make it feel like a Friday. Today we have many things in store for you. Yesterday was politics. Today it will also be politics, because almost everything is political. Welcome. Today we will be talking about some of our favorite thumbs of the internet, spanning from the Ben Shabibs to the Steven Crowders. Thank you, Mideli Ramka, for the 100 cheers, and welcome, everybody. We're going to be tackling some truly unique topics. We're going to start off with some news, though. We're going to talk about arguably one of the biggest problems of the online left, which is irony poisoning. I saw J-Reg making a video about it. It is probably going to be completely unhinged. He might say something smart, he might not. It's J-Reg. It's always a roll of dice depending on what character he's playing. That is the closest person to bipolar disorder that I've ever seen in my life. Then we're going to talk about something relatively controversial. I saw Hassan Abi go on the Iced Coffee Hour, and there, obviously, we're not going to watch the whole fucking podcast. We're not insane, but there's a special segment where he talks about socialist grifters and so on. So we're going to talk about that conversation in general because, hey, a lot of people call me a socialist grifter. But before we begin, how is my chat doing? How are my babies doing? Welcome especially to my beautiful Pokemon, the mods. Thank you especially to Pandas for editing the great South American conversation. I think he told me this. Some of the other mods helped him. That is now up on the Yugopnik Highlights YouTube channel. Joklo, you are a grifter, though. Aren't we all? Aren't we all grifters? I think that at the end of the day is the lesson that we can take home, nicely packaged. Hugo Beta, yes, indeed. Ora, 69420. My favorite name up in this motherfucker. Today it's raining outside. It's very shit weather, but your boy got a haircut. Your boy went to the motherfucking gym. Thank you, Ramka, for another 100 cheers. Your boy is ready to do this properly. This is the first, I believe, stream that we are doing 2 days in a row, and my mood is up. My testosterone is up. My endorphins are up. My other chemicals that I have no idea what they mean are up. So, ZFIH, you get a haircut every other stream. Yeah, I try to look good for you, you motherfuckers. This is what you pay for. You pay for my fucking haircuts, okay? For my additional screen and one day an air conditioner here, okay? We're boosting this from the ultimate ghetto stream into the most advanced 1K Andy, which we will achieve probably in 10 years. But fuck it. Molochny Mueller, miserable. I was laid off in early February, still haven't found a job. You would think I would be in high spirits after spending so many days not working. Yeah, that sucks. Keep looking. The market right now is absolutely insane. I'm not sure where you live exactly, but we're here for you, and with time, everything is going to work out. Just with job applications, I've been in situations like that. I know people that have been in situations like that. It's just about hitting that one exploiter that is going to take you upon themselves, so that you can feed yourself and so on. But yeah, could always be a streamer. Yeah, there you go. Welcome. Just don't stream in the same hours that I stream in, or I will find you and I will give you a haircut. Okay? I will give you a haircut. And yes, this is a proper Balkan fucking fade. Don't give me shit. I like to call it the cop haircut, but here it's not the cop haircut. It's the normal haircut. Because if you have long hair here, you will be bullied. You will be bullied with great intensity. Men are so macho here that I believe they will at one point bully women for having long hair as well. Thank you, Molochny Mueller, for the 100 bits. So, today, we start off at 10,955 followers and at 1,097 subscribers. Let's see how we end this beautiful stream. And let us immediately get going with some of the first topics of today. I thought about starting with Democracy Now!, checking out the current news, checking out what is currently happening in the Israel-Iran discourse, and afterwards moving in the more more internet-related conversations. One is the greatest UFC victory speech ever, by a man whose job is to get hit in the head. Then we're going to talk about irony curing. We can watch this shit, horrible dating advice. That is always fun. Talk about some chuds. Talk about the socialist grift as it is. Afterwards, we can talk about Medicaid, abortion laws. We can celebrate a based Vietnam choosing to give a based death sentence to not so based billionaire. Then this video looked very interesting. I would love to get updated on what is going on in Steven Crowder's life. Yet another traditional family value man getting a divorce. We are here to see it. We are here to love it. It is a pandemic among pro-Israel chuds, baby. And afterwards, we have plenty of videos that we can potentially jump into depending on what time allows. And with that being said, let us get right into it. But before we do, some of you might have seen my posts on Instagram and Twitter, and even on Discord that I used. I found the most under-fucking rated fucking TikTok account on the planet. It's only got 10,000 followers. It's called Microplastic Cat. And some of the shit on here is absolutely fucking legendary. So I felt like I absolutely have to share it with you. Like this one. This is fucking class. Okay?
I create shareholder value, therefore I am. My worth is defined by my productivity. What doesn't kill us makes the economy stronger. Ask not what your landlord can do for you. Ask what you can do for your landlord.
Dude, this is so
underrated. I
underrated.
create shareholder value, therefore I am. My worth is defined by my productivity. What doesn't kill us.
I know the cost of glycine is so important to you. Inflation keeps coming down, glycine rates will keep coming down as well. I want to provide an annual glycine credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as glycine rates come down.
Glycine rates.
I know the cost.
What do you spend your pocket money on?
This is like the future of content. Like this, I have found gold. I have found absolute gold. So what do you spend your money on? They asked this little lady. Hamster food.
What do you spend your pocket money on?
Hamster food and premium bonds.
It's so good. Dude, this is so good. I am calling it fucking shut up, little girl. Yeah, I said that. I swear to God, I have found the new fucking thing, okay? I have found the new fucking thing. This one is a bit dark. Like...
We're joined today by the CEO of WW3 to celebrate their commitment to invest $100 billion over the next 20 years here in America to build factories.
Okay, yeah, I think you had enough of this. But yes, that was absolutely fucking gorgeous. This channel is ridiculous. Go microplastic cat. Okay? Microplastic fucking cat. And the last one, where is the last one? The Chinese one, this one.
Joe Biden, please. Joe Biden, please. Drop the prices of food cheese. Joe Biden, please. Joe Biden, please. Drop the prices of food cheese. Joe Biden, please. Joe Biden, please. Drop the prices of food cheese.
It is so good. It is so good. I love the internet. I love the internet!
Joe Biden, please. Joe Biden, please. Drop the prices of food cheese. Joe Biden, please. Joe Biden, please. Drop the prices of
Ah! It is so fucking good. Okay, enough. It is so fucking good. It is so fucking good. Okay, now to boring stuff like the news, because some people want to get informed. I don't know why. We're all eventually going to die. That even rhymed. Ha 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 ha. Goodbye. Yes.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and
Let me
Peace
go drink my
Report.
cough.
I'm Amy Goodman. The United Nations
Dude,
has
it is
accused-
so fucking difficult. Look at me. It is so fucking difficult to stream with this mask because I'm literally like dying for air throughout half of the time, and the other 50% of the time I'm not dying for air. I'm vaping, which is my problem. But I can't drink anything. All the streamers, if you watch them, they stream for like 3+ hours. They like sip on something every 10 fucking seconds. How the fuck do I sip through this? Okay. Hey, Elon Musk or whoever develops new things. Please tell your slaves to imagine a mask you can actually drink through. Thank you very much. So I always have to go off screen and you all scream like, oh, chair. Oh, it's a chair stream. It's a chair stream. Hey.
accused Israel of continuing to unlawfully restrict aid into Gaza, despite acknowledgments by the United States that parts of Gaza are already experiencing famine. Ravina Shamdasani of the UN Human Rights Office spoke in Geneva Tuesday.
Israel continues to impose unlawful restrictions on the entry and distribution of humanitarian assistance, carry out widespread destruction of civilian infrastructure as well.
This comes as the official death toll in Gaza nears 34,000,
Yeah, I could like put it into my vein and like feed myself through a drip. That's a great fucking idea.
including over
Get one of those GIMP masks with a white mouth hole. Yeah.
14,000 children and 10,000 women. A new report by UN Women finds Israel's assault on Gaza has left more than 19,000 children orphaned. Earlier today, Israel struck a playground and busy market in the Maghazi refugee camp. Tension remains high in the Middle East as world leaders urge Israel to show restraint following Iran's recent drone and missile attack. British Foreign Secretary David Cameron has urged Israel to do, quote, as little as possible to escalate tensions with Iran.
But as we know, asking Israel to do anything, even from the world's most developed and most advanced military and economy, does absolutely nothing. Because, let's not forget, the European Union, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Israel are the same fucking thing. Their sovereignty does not exist when there is only one unipolar power, my brothers. Therefore, yeah, this is just for the domestic electorate. Always remember this.
Meanwhile, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan
They should just say Jizrael. Jizrael just dropped, but you know what else is going to drop? And it's not even been 15 minutes of streaming. An ad. If you do not want to watch ads, support me in, I guess, watching videos of cats screaming, Joe Biden, give us cheaper blue cheese. Then for $5 a month or for free through Prime, do consider becoming a sub. Support the show and have an adless experience. Thank you kindly.
Erdogan has accused Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin.
If you don't want to watch ads and you would prefer to call it Jizrael, then please subscribe. That's
Netanyahu of provoking Iran by first bombing the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria 2 weeks ago.
Wonderful, a new child soldier, subscriber.
Thank you, Warden Sign, for the sub. Long live Jizrael. Throughout this entire episode, whenever somebody subs, for every sub, I'm going to say the word Jizrael. So, okay? There we go.
Endangering the lives of both his own citizens and all the peoples in the region to extend his political life. This is an indisputable...
Erdogan looks like he's about to drop at any moment. Or, this is not Erdogan, as Destiny would say, this is what? This was, This was the leader of what? What was it? Thank you very much, Jocula, for supporting the state of Israel. Destiny Erdogan. Who was it? Destiny Erdogan. Destiny Erdogan. Destiny Erdogan.
Bashar al-Assad, is that this guy?
Yeah. Oh no, it is Comrade al-Assad speaking. But yes, thank you, Jocula. Long live Israel. We are listening to al-Assad, so everybody shut the fuck up.
Fact. The one responsible for the tension that made our hearts.
Thank you very much, Romka, for 2 gifted subs. Long live Israel. Long live Israel.
Keep a beat on the night of April 13 is Netanyahu and his government, which is seeing red.
The United Nations Human Rights Office is calling on Israel to stop supporting violent Jewish settlers in the occupied West Bank.
Turkey is the absolute king of like finger wagger. We are finger wagger at Israel, but we are also very careful just how much we waggle the finger. We might accidentally touch an IDF soldier, but we will never do this. We will never do this. Okay. Lord, why doesn't all of Erdogan's talks of bringing back the Ottoman Empire and Ottoman mentality and the empire mentality, why does he only apply it to fucking Greece and peasant Balkan countries like my own, but not expanding, southwards, if you know what I mean? No.
In recent days, settlers...
Because Papa NATO would not be very hap-hap.
Have killed at least 3 Palestinians and attacked a number of villages, burning dozens of homes to the ground. Human Rights Watch has accused Israeli military forces of either taking part in the attacks or failing to protect Palestinians from the settlers. Meanwhile, The Guardian's revealed Israel's been speeding up plans over the past 6 months to build thousands of housing units in new illegal settlements in East Jerusalem. At least 9 workers at Google were arrested Tuesday after staging sit-ins at the company's offices here in New York City and in Sunnyvale, California, in the CEO's office, to protest Project Nimbus, a $1.2 billion contract to provide cloud computing services to the Israeli government and military. Iman Hassim is a Google software engineer in Sunnyvale.
Even the labor aristocracy shall be put behind walls and shot by their corporate overlords. The only reason they are giving you any current high salaries and rights is for them to stay off their competition until they can design technologies which will replace you. If you're a coder, a computer scientist, etc., you are directly more in common. You are directly more in line with proletarian thought than with your capitalist leader. Always please remember this. They are not loyal to you. Do not be loyal to them, especially when they're fucking selling shit to a fucking apartheid state. So good job on these motherfuckers.
We demand that Google drop Project Nimbus, the $1.2 billion contract between them and Israel. We demand that Google protect their Arab, Muslim, and Palestinian worker voices from harassment, retaliation, suppression.
Thank you, Kid Lizzo.
We demand that Google recognize Project Nimbus as a workplace safety and health concern.
We'll have more on Google later in the show, with 2 of those Google workers arrested. In other protest news, students at Columbia University and Barnard College have set up dozens of tents on campus to create what they're calling a Gaza solidarity encampment. This is Isra Hirsi, a student at Barnard, who's the daughter of Congressmember Ilhan Omar.
Hello, I am an organizer with CU Apartheid Divest. Today we have over 100+ people who have come together to form the Gaza Solidarity Encampment. Today we are calling for divestment, we are calling for amnesty for suspended students, as well as transparency from Columbia University on what they invested.
The president of Columbia University is testifying before Congress today.
When little babies understand more about what is supposed to be done than your Senate, then you are utterly and completely cooked. As we said yesterday, I can't wait to eat the soup of a cooked USA.
The first 7 jurors have been...
Even though it's probably just going to taste like burger. It tastes like burger and cholesterol.
selected in Donald Trump's hush money criminal trial. Jury selections expected to continue on Thursday. Opening arguments could begin as soon as Monday. Judge Juan Merchan has admonished the former president for intimidating jurors after Trump was heard muttering something under his breath during jury selection. On Tuesday, Trump reportedly fell...
What am I drinking? I'm drinking orange juice. and ginger. It's very good. And guys, I fucked up with... I took a double espresso and I'm shaking like a motherfucker.
Asleep during the proceedings for a second day in a row. Trump's charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to hide a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. The U.S. Supreme Court's weighing whether the Justice Department has improperly used a federal obstruction law to charge more than 350 people involved in the January 6th insurrection. Several justices appeared skeptical of the DOJ's reasoning during oral arguments Tuesday. This is Justice Clarence Thomas.
There have been many violent protests that have interfered with proceedings. Has the government applied this provision to other protests in the past, and has this been the government's position throughout the lifespan of the statute?
Justice Thomas has refused to recuse himself from cases related to the January 6th insurrection, even though his wife, Ginny Thomas, attended Trump's Stop the Steal rally on the Eclipse just before Trump supporters attacked the Capitol. The Supreme Court's decision could also impact the prosecution of Donald Trump, who faces 4 counts under the law, which was passed after the Enron scandal. The possible extradition of imprisoned WikiLeaks publisher Julian Assange to the United States has edged a step closer. On Tuesday, the Biden administration provided assurances to the British High Court that Assange would not face the death penalty and that his First Amendment rights would be protected if he were to be extradited from Britain, where he's been locked up for years. Assange's wife, Stella, slammed the U.S. response, saying, quote, "The diplomatic note does nothing to relieve our family's extreme distress about his future, his grim expectation of spending the rest of his life in isolation in U.S. prison for publishing award-winning journalism," she said.
I mean, the poor guy has already been in prison for like fucking, what, almost a decade and a half? At least a decade, I can't remember exactly. You know, if they extradite him, they'll probably just, the process is going to take 2 more years. And in that process, he will most definitely be suicided. Let's be fucking honest. 13 years. Yeah. Thank you, Chowder.
In news from India, security forces have killed 29 Maoist rebels in the central state of Chhattisgarh, just days before India's national elections begin. It was one of the deadliest attacks on the Naxalite movement in years. In news from Capitol Hill, Republican Congressmember Thomas Massie of Kentucky has joined Congressmember Marjorie Taylor Greene's bid to oust Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson. Massie made the announcement a day after Johnson unveiled a plan to advance separate bills to send aid to Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. Meanwhile, House Republicans have finally sent articles of it.
I mean, I always do this, but I don't care. Meanwhile,
impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas to the Senate. In voting news, Maine's become the latest state to join the National Popular Vote Compact, which could transform the way presidents are elected in the United States. 16 states and Washington, D.C. have now pledged to award their combined 209 electoral votes to the presidential candidate who wins the nationwide popular vote. The compact will only go into effect once supporters of the compact control at least 270 votes. Support for the National Popular Vote Compact has grown in recent years after both George W. Bush and Donald Trump were elected president despite losing the popular vote. In California, a former U.S. Marine has been sentenced.
Like a state that has had 2 presidents in the last 2 decades win without actually having the popular vote has absolutely no right to point out illegitimacy in the voting system of any state that it deems corrupt or authoritarian because of their quote-unquote undemocratic electoral systems. you can always use this argument. It's a very easy one, and it usually fucking works.
To 9 years in prison for firebombing a Planned Parenthood clinic in Costa Mesa in 2022. Chance Brannon pleaded guilty in November. He admitted he'd also planned to attack a second Planned Parenthood clinic and an LGBTQ pride celebration at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. 2 other people involved have also pleaded guilty and will be sentenced in May. In a major win for LGBTQ rights advocates, a federal appeals court has blocked West Virginia's measure banning transgender children and youth from participating in public school and college sports. The ruling stemmed from a case involving
Those are our problems. Our problems are trans kids participating in sports. Our problem is people who do not have the right to vote passing through the border and somehow voting. Our problem is not enough guns for Israel. Please continue watching the announcement. Please continue going to work. Please continue paying your taxes. Everything is going okay. Everything is going okay. Everything is going okay.
13-year-old Becky Pepper Jackson, trans.
Can you imagine how melted every 50-year-plus American brain is? Like, holy fucking shit, dude.
Athlete who's been challenging West Virginia's ban since 2021. Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court is allowing Idaho to enforce its ban on gender-affirming care for transgender youth, while lawsuits over the measure are heard in lower courts. Under the law, physicians in Idaho face up to 10 years in prison for providing hormones, puberty blockers, or other gender-affirming care to trans children under the age of 18. And here in New York, 2 police officers involved in the fatal shooting of...
Give me a more systematic discrimination of a minority than that, okay? Give me one that's more intense than that.
Kowalski Trawick in 2019 will not face internal discipline. New York's police commissioner, Edward Caban, said officers Brendan Thompson and Herbert Davis, quote, acted within the law when they entered Trawick's Bronx apartment, and Officer Thompson, who's white, shot him 4 times. Trawick, who was 32, an aspiring dancer, had a history of mental illness and was living in special housing when he called 911. The 2 officers found Trawick holding a knife as he repeatedly told them he was cooking and asked why the officers were inside his home. The full incident lasted less than 2 minutes. The officers did not face criminal charges. And those are some of the headlines.
Jesus fucking Christ, and those were just some of the headlines from April 17th, 2024. So we have more guns for an apartheid state. We have teenagers understand more than political representatives on what is supposed to be done. We have the so-called labor aristocracy further being pushed towards the left, as it should, because there should be solidarity between these 2 classes, because as capitalism develops, it at one point no longer needs any labor aristocracy, so they will lose their positions of relative privilege as well. We have further pissing on trans rights. So yeah, just a classical day and physical violence against minorities. Just a typical April 17th, 2024. Probably if we look at April 17th, 2023, it's going to be something extremely similar. Sure, let's do that social experiment. Fuck it, okay? April 17th, 2023. April 7th. Okay, let's run through April 17th, 2023 and see how different the news is. Obviously, there's not going to be as much talk about Israel, but let's just see. Let's just see this, okay?
Welcome
I'll
to
play it at
Democracy
speed.
Now, democracynow.org,
A bit
the War and
faster,
Peace
okay?
Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Sudan is roiling for...
Thank you very much,
child
Snappy.
subscriber.
Thank you very much, my child soldier, for Jizrael, Snappy Turtle 89. Gooning involves edging for a long period of time, causing a hypnotic trance-like state. Absolutely. Look at Iran and Israel. They are goon bros extraordinaire. They're edging.
A 3rd day of violence that's killed nearly 100 civilians and injured hundreds more since Saturday as rival leaders of Sudan's military government battle for control of the Northeast African nation. There are reports of heavy artillery fire in the capital, Khartoum, explosions at Khartoum's main airport, airstrikes on military barracks and bases in Sudan's Darfur region. The World Food Program has halted all operations. The U.S. Supreme Court Friday temporarily restored access to the abortion pill mifepristone, but only until Wednesday, in order to further review a lower court decision which banned the country's most popular abortion method just 1 week earlier. Meanwhile, the Washington Post reported Matthew Kacsmaryk, the conservative Trump-appointed judge who issued the ban on mifepristone, removed his name as the author of an anti-abortion and in Ukraine, a Russian missile attack in a residential neighborhood in the eastern city of Ukraine killed at least 11 people Friday. This comes as Ukraine says in India, 2 high-profile politicians were shot and killed on live television Saturday while in police custody in the northern city of Prayagraj. Atiq Ahmed, an organized crime leader who also served in India's parliament, was shot in the head, as was his brother Ashraf Ahmed, a former legislator in Uttar Pradesh state. At the time of the murders, the brothers were being escorted in handcuffs to a hospital for a medical
retirement reform after the protest
retirement overhaul, which raises the retirement age from 62 to 64 years old and extends the years of work required to receive a full pension to 43 years. The Constitutional Council on Friday
ruled very American heavy, though.
Macron and his party had to force it through by executive action, given its members of the G7 have
G7 exactly a year ago to phase out fossil
fuels and the transition to renewable energy, aiming to reach net zero emissions by 2050 by boosting solar power and offshore wind capacity. But the group of ministers could not collectively agree to a 2030 deadline for phasing out coal, a goal pushed by Canada and other members. The group also refused to cut off investments in gas. Elsewhere, world leaders...
Over 600 prisoners transferred from Fulton County Jail. Okay. Welcome, all the beauties from Lucid Fox. Thank you, kindly, Lucid Fox, for the raid. Everybody, please do go check out Lucid Fox, a brilliant, brilliant comrade. Thank you very kindly. Please, mods, send a link towards Lucid Fox's channel. Everybody go and give them a follow or a subscription. Thank you kindly, and hello, my brothers, sisters, and NBs. Right now, we're comparing a report from everything that's happened on April 17, 2024, with what's happened on April 17, 2023. And the differences, while they do exist because this specific coverage talks more about the international community when it comes to the U.S.
Wonderful.
Now they talk shit about... thank you very much, Doc Not So Strange, for the sub. Thank you very much for being a child soldier for Jisrael. Yes, I promise that I will say that word every time somebody subs today, which I think I shot myself in the dick with that one, but okay. We got, like, on April 17, 2024, they did some bad shit to trans people. On April 17, 2023, they did some bad shit to women who want to have abortions. Thank you very much, Himbo MP3, for the 5 gifted subs, giving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 child soldiers to the great state of Israel. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Socialist Autophile, for the gifted sub. Even more people for Jisrael. Jesus, am I really going to say that word every fucking time? And yes, no, not for every gift. Okay, 5 gifted. So Jisrael. What the fuck am I doing with my life?
We'll meet in Hiroshima next month for the official G7 summit. Back in the United States.
And thank you very much, Forever and Dust 2, for the resub. Welcome back, my beautiful. And Kit Litzo, and a hype train has started. A hype train that is going directly to Jisrael, just like Forever and to Dust.
In Georgia, over 600 prisoners are being transferred from the Fulton County Jail after the family of a dead prisoner says he was eaten alive by insects and bedbugs in his cell last year. The family of 35-year-old LaShawn Thompson.
Okay, we have a confirmation with taking away body independence, April 7, 2023, 2024. We have doing awful things to minorities, 2023, 2024. We have 2 out of 10. Okay, that's not bad. Thank you, Dio Cumboy, for jizzing to the jizz state of Jisrael. And thank you, Delucer, for giving out
a new child soldier
for the state of Jisrael. Thank you very kindly, Romka, for sending 200 bits to Jisrael. There will be many jizzes emptied on Israel today.
Criminal investigation, and that the jail be shut down. The U.S. marked another deadly weekend of gun violence in the small town of...
I can't believe you're called Dio Cumboy. That's legendary.
Dadeville, Alabama. A shooter opened fire in a room full of teenagers celebrating a Sweet 16 birthday party, killing 4 people and injuring 28 others. Among the dead was...
Israel... Well, Jisrael is like the home country of all goon bros, okay? It is the native land of all goon bros. But unlike Israel, Jisrael went to a completely unoccupied part of the planet. They found some like completely barren island, and that's where they set up Jisrael. Okay, so it is not a colonial project, and therefore we support the independence of the Jisraeli state. Okay, thank you very much, Remjer, for giving 100 cheers to the great independent goon state of Jisrael, and thank you, Ramka, for
Wonderful.
another given soldier to the goon state of Jisrael, and Eli Balkanoid, a fellow Balkanoid, fucking igrai, brate, aimo za Jisrael, samo tako.
The star student athlete, Phil Dowdell, who was remembered by a coach and teacher at his high school.
Is Jisrael in the same room with you? Jisrael is everywhere where a Jiz bro arrives. Okay, thank you, Eco Waves, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Jisrael soldiers entering chat, motherfucker, yeah. Kit Litzo been advocating Jisrael freedoms for years, yes. It is not enough people are talking about the need for an independent state for goon brothers. All societies shun them. Discrimination against goon bros is at an all-time peak. They are being put into these strange racialized categories of you have one of your arms is bigger, and you have crusty things on your t-shirt. They simply do not understand the great culture of Jisrael and of the goon bro army and goon sister army and goon envy army. Everybody can be a goon bro. It is not a state based on ethnic apartheid and insane ideology like the state of Israel. In Jisrael, we accept everybody as long as they play with themselves. Thank you, Kit Lissa, for the $20, 20 bits for Jisrael.
Wonderful. A new child soldier. Subscriber.
Elsewhere, a shooter opened fire in a crowd of hundreds in a park in Louisville, Kentucky.
And another shooting just like in the other one. So wait, there was 1 story, 2 stories, 3 stories, 4 stories, 5 stories, 6, 7, 8, 9 stories. Out of 9, we have 4 stories that are basically the same on the same day in 2023 and in 2024.
Killing 2. This came as Louisville still reeling from the mass shooting at a bank last Monday that claimed 5 lives. A shooting in West Oahu, Hawaii, left 2 people dead Friday. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, Missouri, a black teenager was shot and hospitalized after accidentally ringing the wrong doorbell while trying to pick up his siblings.
Oh, and we get bonus points. Of course, it was a black teenager. Oh my God, the surprise. Oh, Lord. Oof. Oh, my Lord, this is, wow, crazy.
In Nashville, a 7-month pregnant woman was rushed to the hospital last week where she had an emergency C-section after she was shot by a Walgreens employee who said he suspected her of shoplifting.
I love how there's a civil war in chat between those who think we need to be more serious and others who advocate for the independent state of Gooner Bro Jisrael, okay? You know my side. There will be some... Jisrael will have to give itself to mandatory state programs and re-education camps into the way of the goon lord.
The employee claimed self-defense even though he followed her into the store's parking lot where he opened fire. In Indianapolis, top Republican hopefuls for the 2024 presidential nomination joined the 3-day annual...
You really fucked yourself with the Jisrael shit because it's way too funny and developing lore. That means it's going to be mimetically encoded into this chat's culture. Fuck yeah, okay. There are the Jisraeli death squads of chat and anti-revolutionary squads of whites who, through their chastity, want to annihilate the great ideology, which is unification through gooning sessions.
Meeting of the National Rifle Association over the weekend. Headlining the event was Donald Trump, who received a 2-minute standing ovation before declaring himself the most pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment president in U.S. history.
With me at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, no one will lay a finger on your firearms, just as took place for 4 years when I was your president. I will also create a new tax credit.
And of course, a story about Trump. Okay, we got 5 out of 9. 5 out of 9 stories. 2 years in a row on the same fucking topic. I would love to make a meme and say, oh, America never changed, but America, please change. Please change. Please, America, please change. Look at me. Please change. America, please change. And you can be inspired by the great state of Jizrael, to whom the puny sense gave 90 cheers. They will be used for a lot of lube, if you know what I mean, my brother. Yes, brother. Yes, indeed, brother. Yes, indeed. Okay, and with that, we move on to our next conversation point, which is very relevant to screaming about jizz. And that is a problem that has been a long-standing community. I have no idea how JRAG is going to tackle this, right? Because it's JRAG. Speaking of JRAG and not knowing how to tackle this, there is an attack. There is an attack on our freedoms as great members of the Israeli state. And it is being pushed by Jeff Bezos and his goons. But not our type of goons, their type of goons. By giving you an ad that is going to play in exactly 20 seconds. If you would like to avoid that ad, please do consider becoming a subscriber for $5 or for free through Prime. Join the Israeli army. Join truth. Join the future. Be encrusted. Yeah, that was the pitch. Okay, back. So, irony poisoning. Irony poisoning is fucking hardcore. In the online left especially, but in the left in general in the West. What exactly are we talking about here? Here, maybe JREG's definitions are going to be slightly different. Thank you very much for the hype train, by the way. Level 5, not bad. 16 gift subs and 417 bits, not bad. So, what is irony poisoning? Irony poisoning is when you only participate in a political movement so that you can sound smarter than everybody around you, but your biggest trigger, your biggest LARP, is when you see somebody who is actually politically active in the physical world, right? Somebody who actually proposes organizing, somebody who's radical enough to call for revolution, etc., etc. So, these sorts of people engulf themselves in a quite literal goon session amongst each other, a kind of jerk, when a bunch of guys like the Spider-Man sit around each other and jerk each other off intellectually in the pursuit of being the most righter than absolutely everybody else, being the most enlightened in their rhetoric and in their perspective towards the world as they shout at the non-existing call center of reality, while not really doing absolutely anything to change said reality. This gives them the ability to sit above those who actually organize and actually believe that you can change the current status quo into something better, while sitting on their ivory towers of conversation and basically intellectual masturbation, right? Again, everything relates back to masturbation, as we all know. Now, JREG might be talking about something completely different because it's fucking JREG, okay? It's fucking JREG. Remember when JREG followed me when I had 20,000 fucking subscribers or something? That was mind-blowing to me. And then even a Balkan YouTuber hit me up and was like, what the fuck? JREG follows you? That's awesome, dude, or whatever. But yeah, JREG, the internet's most fucking unhinged person in the best of ways. I love him. We all should love him. So yeah, let's check this out and have an interesting conversation, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I'm a broken record, but I'm a broken record because I'm right. I'm supposed to ramble incoherently for 15 minutes first. Like I'm an old lady telling you about how my mom used to make these cookies when you're just trying to get to the recipe. But yeah, community is pretty much it. But the rest of this video is going to be explaining why that is, and that might be interesting. And we're going to have to cover a lot of cool topics to get there. We're going to talk about the psychological utility of irony, especially in the modern day, especially on the internet. We're going to talk about what irony poisoning means, what makes someone irony poisoned, and how irony poisoning can be lethal. And we're going to talk about how you can mitigate and cure it. And because I'm an autodidact, I ain't citing no studies.
Wonderful.
I ain't
A new
citing no
child
sources,
soldier.
except for this one, which I was cited.
Thank you very much, Rando Kaljian, for joining the Israeli army.
And yes, it's an actual dissertation. There's my academic credentials, motherfucker, plus the 5 years of performance art. If I can't talk about this, I don't know who can. Part 1. The psychological utility of irony. Why does irony exist? Why does every sentence I speak seem to drip with it? Why does my mouth curl into a smile even when I'm trying to be serious? These questions are probably too broad for us to actually get to the bottom of, but let's just take one aspect of irony for a second and examine that. This aspect of irony is distance. The term ironic detachment exists for a reason. You are ironically detaching from what? From the situation that is causing you pain. Irony can be useful as a tool to disassociate from a bad situation.
It's a coping mechanism that both allows you to cope, to sit on that beautiful, beautiful copium, to inject that beautiful, beautiful copium right into your prostate as it vibrates radically, while also feeling superior to others. Because like you, just classic cope of lying to yourself, you look pathetic. But being irony poisoned allows you to like sit above others while not really being any different than those others that you're criticizing, right? It's kind of a high chair.
If you have to do or say something you really don't want to do, you can do it ironically. If you're going down a path that you know is bad, you can say you're going down that path ironically. It detaches you a little bit. It's a bit dissociative in that way. It makes doing things you don't like or don't want to be doing or don't feel are aligned with you a little bit more palatable. It's a bit of sugar to make the medicine go down. In the internet age, there is an endless stream of political causes and social movements and interpersonal things you could get involved with. Hypothetically, there is no shortage of causes to get behind. There's a lot of things you really should be caring about right now, huh?
Thank you, Joanne, for the 200 bits. It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you're already paid. Exactly. Beautifully put, Joe1.
What if you don't want to care about all those things? Global warming, the earth is flat, the water will just fall over the side. And then, you know, in 15 years, you're like...
Like there's like that path that you notice probably in a lot of your friends, because I notice in like 70% of mine, where they go from like cringe ass, I don't like politics, which you saying that sentence is like... I don't like the taste of water, so I drink fucking Pepsi all the time, and then I wonder why my blood looks fucking yellow. Transition into caring about something, but then noticing that either you feel cringe because you don't really care about it, so you kind of went into it because of the tribal thing, or realizing you don't really care enough, or the third category, which happens with most people, you realize it's work. You realize it's work to care about something, so it's much easier to just distance yourself and pretend that you are intellectually superior because you are actively not caring about this. Does this remind you of anybody? Everybody has at least one person in their life that quite literally looks at you for caring about a thing like is de facto cringe. Like caring about things is cringe. Giving a shit about things is cringe, right? Yanagibashi reminds me of me, yeah. Depends on the arm of your neighbor. I guess we're irony poisoned on some topic or another, okay?
You're thinking about how funny that joke was. So what am I getting at here, huh? Like ironic detachment distances you from these issues that you should be caring about. And so the solution is to drop the irony and care about everything, right? Is that the thesis that I'm...
But yeah, a lot of people that go into the extreme opposite end up just engulfing absolutely everything and participating in it for what we talked about previously as just like an exercise of trying to be the most right, trying to be the nicest person. And how are you the nicest person? By being the one that like supports the most causes. I support so many causes. How many causes do you support? You support 20. I support 32 causes, but you don't really support them. Like supporting a cause is like going out there and doing something for the cause, propagating for the cause very actively, participating in organizational efforts to make that cause turn into reality, you know, to manifest itself. You with a bunch of other people, or you yourself, or you with your capital, or you with your fucking hands, right? That is participating in those causes. But what the internet has allowed us to do is to just log into Twitter, log into Discord, log into whatever, and then just sit there and say, I really care about this thing. I really, really care about this thing. Hey, everybody, look at the flag I put in bio. Look at my profile picture. I am very actively caring about this thing. I really, really do be caring, okay? That is the other extreme, which is arguably basically the same fucking thing. Just another mechanism of making yourself feel a bit better about yourself while not actually doing jack fucking shit. And a lot of people that sit behind the fucking camera and speak into the fucking microphone the way I'm doing right now, that's exactly the fucking two types of audiences that they want to milk the living shit out of, okay? Because it literally can feed into this like sitting online and watching guy rant about things. That's why I'm different and my boy Hakeem and my boy JT think that we are different, is because we always call for people, at least for the socialist cause, to actually organize, agitate, and go out there and actually try, if possible, of course, if they are able to, and actually push their ideas into material reality. Otherwise, we're just, again, fucking being members of the Israeli state and sitting here and gooning on each other about how right we are or how superior we are to all others by not caring about anything, right?
Getting at here? No, you can't care about everything. You can't possibly meaningfully help all of these situations. Irony as a defense mechanism in the modern day not only makes total sense, it's kind of psychotic if you don't do it. Especially because some of the things you're supposed to care about are directly at odds with other things you're supposed to care about. Congratulations, you brought 500 million third world people out of poverty, but now their increased standard of living has led to climate change getting 80% worse, killing an extra 500 million people a year. Oh no! It seems like half the influencers have some scheme or some social cause or some political movement they want you to be a part of.
You call other people to make a difference? No, dangerously. And isn't most of what you do discourse? Most of what I do is fucking education, okay? Most of what I do is fucking education. It is agitation. It is equally as important as the other fucking two. Okay? I'm the guy that used to run around and put posters on walls. Only now, thanks to the internet, I get to do it to a larger amount of people. That is what I try to do here. And in the meantime, also entertain a little bit. Why the fuck not? Let's have some fun and talk about Israel and the goon state. Okay? That's what I do, my love. I'm sure the question came from a different perspective.
Part of and think you should morally be a
positive
part of. And then the other half are just total nihilists, too afraid to alienate any part of their audience by saying anything important ever. And those people are worse, way, way, way worse than the first group. Anti-centrism, baby. I was serious the whole time. But it's all a little psychotic, isn't it? Trying to care.
It's one thing for some of you to sit down and talk to your friends from time to time about the socialism. I give fucking 6 days out of the week to push this fucking idea. Okay, this is literally what I do. Literally what I do. And if you don't think that's good enough agitation, then okay, I probably can improve in many ways. But when it comes to the knowledge I have as somebody who's worked in the corporate world and as somebody with an official fucking political science degree, even if I get one person to convert a month, even one person, my job is beyond fucking done for the cause, okay? More than 99% of motherfuckers sitting in reading rooms and reciting Trotsky and Lenin to each other.
Care about too much, you get burned.
That's discourse.
Burned out. You put your walls up and then you never step foot outside your house again. Metaphorically, but also.
Yes, Praxis is linking to Yugo videos in your Discord. That is and the more videos of Yugo you link, the Praxiser you are.
So literally. I'm using political movements here as an example, but this applies perfectly
to calling your subscribers members of Jisrael, exactly.
Small scale things as well. If you keep an air of ironic detachment around your lover when the two of you break.
Exactly, Yanagibashi. I will not respect you until you single-handedly lead the proletarian revolution. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And those people are worse. Way, way, way worse than the first group. Anti-centrism, baby. I was serious the whole time. But it's all a little psychotic, isn't it? Trying to care about too much, you get burned out. You put your walls up, and then you never step foot outside your house again. Metaphorically, but also literally. I'm using political movements here as an example, but this applies perfectly to small-scale things as well. If you keep an air of ironic detachment around your lover, when the two of you break up, it will hurt way less, because you're disassociated a little bit. The knife that plunged into your heart really only hit about 30% of you. The other 70% you've astral projected halfway across the room. Irony shields you from the pain of association. It is a tool.
Exactly. Irony shields you from the pain of association. So even people that call themselves, in our case, socialists, etc., and all the time talk about it, but under the shield of irony, which is basically them calling it, oh man, we're just having a conversation, or we're just debating, we're engaging in an intellectual discourse, is because deep down, if they invested more into it, they are afraid that they're not going to get anything out of it. But going into it for that reason by itself is the same like, I don't know, a religious person being good only because they're afraid of hell. Like, if you're in it only for the instant result that you are expecting, so gratitude because you are going to be the one that leads the Marxist-Leninist revolution or whatever fucking cringe lore fest you want to participate in, then you maybe should be doing this.
Tool that you can use to protect yourself. The problem becomes when you forget how to turn this tool off. And this is what we call part 2, irony poisoning. You see this smile on my face? I don't know how to turn this off anymore. It's just completely been woven into the way that I socially present.
It's really nice to see that J-Rag is no longer living in like some completely rundown fucking homeless shelter, whatever the fuck he used to live in when I watched him like 2-3 years ago. Good for him, man. Good for him.
The Droker. Okay, I don't want to be the Droker. You think I want to be the Droker? I want to be Alistair from Hazbin Hotel, my new favorite show. Irony poisoning is a very recent definition of a very vibey concept. You kind of know what it's about when you hear it, but you don't get a concrete definition in your head. So here's my attempt at providing a concrete definition for irony poisoning. Irony poisoning is when irony becomes so ingrained in someone's personal identity because they've used it so much that they no longer know how to consciously turn it off. I think irony is a tool that you can and maybe even should.
Like nothing is serious for you anymore. Absolutely nothing is serious for you anymore. You like look, you know, the completely gooned out, but not through porn, but through memes kind of mentality. You've most of you, at least the younger you in chat, younger ones in chat, have been on Discord servers where like they are ready to turn everything into like a little meme joke. An example, when that U.S. soldier put himself on fire, right, in order to protest the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Immediately, like 2 hours later, like 700 memes. Look at this guy caring about a thing. Caring about a thing, like that's the extreme of the irony poison crowd. Caring about a thing so much that they took their own life, right? And they needed to kind of deal with that they've just seen. So they just congested it into funny memes, right? It's just a coping mechanism. But compared to many other coping mechanisms, it makes you also feel like you're the smart guy. That's what sucks about it the most. You think you're like above others for not caring about anything. And for exclusively ironically doing things. That's why it's extra annoying. It's like the America of coping mechanisms because it's hypocritical.
Could use to disassociate from certain situations. Once you forget how to not disassociate from painful situations, guess what? You no longer know how to associate with situations that are good for you. Your defense mechanism worked too well, and now you don't know how to take it down. And I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about performance art, because this is a term that gets tossed around a lot, and I am often described as a performance artist. In my opinion, art...
Or like let's use, I criticize China all the time or whatever, but people that don't want to learn absolutely anything about China, so they immediately turned it into Chimbiling, social credit plus 100, Chimbiling, social credit plus 100, John Cena ice cream, John Cena ice cream, ooh, thank you for donating ice cream, ooh, like, it's funny, it is funny, but it is also an ironic coping mechanism about you not wanting to really look at the second most developed country on planet Earth, right? Because that would take too much, and you would care if you do that. So why do that when you can just, funny memes, right?
Associate with situations that are good for you. Your defense mechanism worked too well, and now you don't know how to take it down. And I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about performance art, because this is a term that gets tossed around a lot, and I am often described as a performance artist. In my opinion, art is conscious, and the less conscious it is, the less artistic it is. The art part of that needs to be intentional. If you're just irony poisoned, it's no longer an intentional thing that you're doing. This is just how you are now. I think you're just irony poisoned and possibly coping about the fact that you're irony poisoned by framing yourself as a genius of some kind. You're not a genius.
Exactly what we previously said. Like, and that's again what differentiates it from other people that, I don't know, just shut themselves out in their room, or dudes that just get fucked up all the time, or people that become extremely antisocial. The irony crowd still wants to participate in society, Joker face. Do you know how I got this smile? While not really participating. Like, they want to be in the group, but they think they're too good for the group. It's very there's like arguably again the United States of coping mechanisms.
You have a sickness in your head. I would know. Part 3, how irony poisoning can be lethal. I love breaking up my video essays into parts. It makes me feel so special. And what I'm doing there is I'm addressing your criticism before you can make it. It's a defense mechanism. I wasn't even fully conscious that what I was doing there until I said it out loud. Now I'm explaining to you what I'm doing. If I'm self-aware,
we're great.
Then you can't get me on the thing. And I'm immortal. I'm immune. I'm also inhuman. Irony poisoning is a very good name because at its worst, it can kill you. Like, you can literally get poisoned to death from irony. Irony poisoning can be lethal for the same reasons that loneliness is. You probably already have heard all this shit before. Loneliness.
Like, we have a saying here in the Balkans, it's samo budale umiru za ideale. All the Balkanoids in chat will fucking recognize it. It literally says only idiots die for ideals, which doesn't really mean like they die for them, but like they live for them, metaphorically, you know. Which is so fucking... And what do the ones that have no ideals do? They haven't even lived in the first place. That is how I like to respond to these people, okay? Because they haven't. They haven't. You know, also like, ignorance is bliss, my brother. Okay, fuck bliss then. I piss on bliss. Bliss is overrated. Fuck bliss. You can have my bliss and take it to Israel, okay?
Is as bad as smoking. Irony poisoning erodes your ability to be able to associate with social causes that can help you find good people, or just with people in general that sometimes cause you pain, because that's what human relationships are like. Sometimes you cause each other pain and then you talk about it. You have a conversation about it.
If like life was supposed to be only about bliss, my dude, go buy like heroin and just do heroin all the time. Just do heroin all the time. If all that life is supposed to be about is feeling good and not caring, just do H. Just do copious amounts of H or meth or whatever's your fucking thing. You're going to have a great 10 years. I mean, horrible 10 years, but you get what the fuck I mean. And then, yeah, there you go. But no, life is about much more, okay? And without struggle, there can be no success. Without pain, there can be no bliss.
And then you work through it as human beings instead of going straight to Twitter.com. Guess what? Associating with...
Yeah, obviously, I can't believe I need to say this, but chat, please don't do heroin. What the fuck? I love how chat immediately started writing, no, chat, don't do H. What the fuck? Yeah.
Social causes is actually cool and good, and you probably should do it. If you are too...
No, chat, I actually meant, hey, go do some fucking heroin right now. That's what I really meant, chat. Go do some H. Fucking hell.
Ironically detached to associate with any group.
Jocula too late. Yeah, Jocula's on fucking heroin all the time, man. Jocula's born on heroin.
Groups.
Jocula's a heroin baby.
Clubs, causes, or movements, then you are prohibiting yourself from...
But Mom, you got me said to do H.
The meaning behind life and the source of happiness, which, as my good friend Mr. Beat once said...
The secret to happiness is finding your purpose in a community.
Wow, what a great short. That's all he had to say, and that's all he said, and then he went away. He didn't yap about it for 15 minutes like I am. And even if you're skeptical about this advice coming from an extrovert, like...
Fuck him, Miss J-Reg. We're gonna watch some of J-Reg's videos after this one. Fucking... Why haven't I watched J-Reg in like a year? Because I guess he moved away from like the political irony poisoning to like other shit that I don't care about because I'm like, you know, the crazy guys. But yeah, my special H to Hugo. Every sub is sending a goon heroin over to Israel.
Obviously, you know, I'm recommending you go out and find people. I like people. Here's an argument for you introverts or those of you in denial about being introverts out there, okay? You're also lying to yourself. You're not just distancing yourself from other people and causing fractures within the group. You are also fracturing yourself. You are both the being that is being harmed and the being that is disassociating from the harm. Schizophrenia literally translates to split mind. I would say maybe don't act out the literal definition of schizophrenia consciously if you want to have a healthy life. Maybe. Irony poisoning won't kill you directly. It will still kill you, though. It will isolate you, make you sad, make your life meaningless. And then when you die of a death of despair, that's what's going to have contributed to it. That's like a lethal amount of irony poisoning. Part 4, how to cure irony poisoning. Community. Did you think I would change my answer halfway through? When you begin a community or you engage with a community and you start interacting with real flesh-based human beings, you slowly start building up trust with multiple people that you interact with in real time. If this is a positive, generative community, although, you know, if you have no community, maybe a horrifying death cult is still better than nothing. The people who engage in your community will eventually want to provide value to you. And
yeah, but the wild thing about going back to irony poisoning specifically online is that you will have communities that are degenerative compared to what he used, whatever term, generative or whatever, are degenerative because they feed off of each other and like, yeah, man, you're very smart because you're irony poison. Yeah, I'm smart as well, man. Look at this dang fucking meme where I'm making fun of a dead Palestinian child. Isn't this funny? All those guys pretending that they care, but they actually just want to sip on lattes and enjoy Starbucks. You're white. Got him.
Share with you and have you provide value to them, and you share with them, trust you, get to know you, love you.
This case, yeah, but those people don't really exist offline. Dude, almost every single friend of yours that says that they are non-political is most likely irony poisoned, okay? They look at you like an idiot that cares too much. And you're not an idiot because you're stupid to them, but you're an idiot because you care too much. That's the difference, okay? Caring too much about a thing to them is naive, right? So they don't want to be naive, but they also want to be part of the in-group, so they ironically participate in things.
You will become socially defined in a way in what value you can bring to others. And in being socially defined, you will
But yes, an online community is not like a real community, of course.
Find out who you are.
To an extent, depends.
You will associate. You will know who you are based off of who others need you to be, partially. That's a scary thought. Guess what? You're already being socially defined. You're just being socially defined as like a schizoid right now because you got no home. And as these things happen, as you become ingratiated in your community, as you start providing value to others and they start providing value to you will notice your guard come down. You will notice you start to trust these people. You start to open up to these people. You start to love these people. And if your irony poisoning isn't terminal yet, it will definitely decrease. It might go away entirely. And that doesn't mean you'll never be ironic again. It just means you'll know how to use it. You'll know how to be sincere at times like I'm being now, but also know how to use it to disassociate from situations when you choose to disassociate from those situations. Okay? I am not lonely anymore. I complained about loneliness a lot on this channel. I whined, I would say, about loneliness. But I complained about it because I was so deeply aware of the problem that I knew I had to do something about it in order to make myself feel better about it. So I did. It just took years of thinking about it, suffering, building a community, failing, building more communities, failing. And eventually I did manage to actually stick a community here in Toronto, which is really cool and I really like being a part of, and everyone who's a part of it really likes being a part of it, and I'm meeting new people like every day. But just to make this hit home a little bit more, I had a community event, as I have many these days, and as I was walking home from it, I felt something I had never felt before. I was, in that moment, no longer neutral towards my own death. Now, maybe the schizoids in the audience will immediately understand what I'm saying here, but let that sink in. I made
rock and be chill if I got doxed and killed, if I got stalked and filled with lead, I would not mind being dead.
I doxed myself and I told people to come to my location at a specific time to kill me. You don't do that shit if you don't at least feel neutrally about your own death. But in that moment, reflecting on my community, reflecting on what was built, reflecting on my role in it,
Well, what is he gonna say? He found meaning, and therefore death felt like something that would rob him of this meaning that he has just acquired, and therefore he wanted to continue living. Very deep, indeed, very deep.
Reflecting on the people that relied on me now and loved me now, and the people that I loved, it was almost too much. It was almost too meaningful, and I thought to myself, I no longer want to kill myself publicly on stage for my 100th live show. Would have been a banger idea. Someone should still do that. Just not going to be me anymore. I want to live. I want to meet more people. I want to brainstorm with more people. I want to make new kinds of art with new kinds of folk. I want to love. I want to be loved. I want to be heartbroken. I want to regret everything I'm saying here in a fit of depression that comes the day after, and then realize my baseline bounces back up to what I'm saying now. And I definitely want to brag about the fact that I did it without pharmaceutical medication, even though I probably should have been on pharmaceutical medication. And I have felt and will feel absolutely all the problems that community comes with, like broken trust and heartbreak. I will feel betrayal. I'm sure I will inflict plenty of pain upon plenty of people, just as they inflict pain upon me. That's how human interactions work. When do we forget that was a part of it? Finding community will not solve your problems. It'll just...
Hot take, but having friends is good. Not only good, but kind of necessary. I thought like you're like somebody should have told you when you were like 5. I don't know. Just a hot take.
Just make your problems more bearable. And it will also give you better problems. I want you to have those problems. Those are good problems. I don't feel purposeless and nihilistic and confused. And to the extent that I do still feel all of those things, they're way more of just like passing thoughts and emotions rather than my actual baseline egoistic state. And I still use irony to disassociate myself in circumstances when I don't want to associate. And that's fine too, because I'm doing it consciously. I still have this smile that pops up on my face whenever I try to talk about serious things, but I guess I'm not totally cured. But you know, it's definitely a lot better than it was. Part 5, how to get community. Okay, so I was gonna end this video with an explanation for like...
How to get community. I can sell you community for $9.99 a month. How to get community, subscribe for... I'm kidding.
How you can go and get community yourself. And then I realized, like, I don't know, actually, how to do that. I mean, for me, it took years.
It's very difficult to answer this question because everybody's fucking, box is very different. So stepping out of it is very individual based on the reality in which you find yourself in. Like, yeah.
Years of trial and error. I suffered so much for so long, and I thought about it for so long, and I tried so many different things, and that was just for me. So if I were to give you advice, and I don't even know who you are, I'm looking at myself on the viewfinder, I don't know how that, I don't know. I've helped people find communities one-on-one, but it takes a while on my end and on their end in order to help push them in that direction. So I can't say how you...
In a normal, healthy society, it starts when you go to school. And then you get a bunch of friends. And then as you're getting older, that group gets smaller and smaller. But because your friendship survived with this small group of people, it is very strong. And they become your external family. This does not have to be in school. This can be in the cul-de-sac, in the neighborhood. Thank you, anonymous gifter, for the gifted sub. Thank you very much, Xi Jinping. It can be your neighbor from the other fucking apartment right next to you, or house, or whatever the fuck. It can be somebody online that you end up meeting physically, or just continue hanging out online with, etc., etc. But what I'm trying to say is that society, is supposed to naturally inspire community building. This is not something that is supposed to be like, I don't know what word to use. Something you need to ask for advice for. In a society which is not as alienating and as individualizing as the one we have in the current system, but even more in the West because capitalism has become the only religion available, right? The only way of life available. Having a lot of friends should literally just come by itself, okay? For every type of person. You're like, oh, but I'm introverted. For example, in the most hardcore cases, I'm disabled, etc., etc. No, in all of these cases, in a normal, healthy society, it would still happen. The problem is that we don't live in a healthy society, okay? You are literally motivated not to have friends because you look at them as fucking competition, my dude. You look at them as somebody that you need to be better off, you know? Thank you very much, Yana Gibashi, for the 300 bits.
You, in your own personal experience, can find community. I can say, though, it shouldn't have to be this hard. I really don't believe that it should be this hard to do. I don't think it's your fault for not being born into a community, okay? You don't have to live in a...
Wait, is my bitrate bad? Fucking bitrate. No, am I good now? Am I good now? Can you see me? Woohoo! Hey, chat. Is the stream okay? It's okay now, yeah. It fell off for a second. I have no idea why. And Yanagibashi asked with 300 bits, is Is this where I buy the community? Yes, thank you very much for the 300 community bits. You're now officially a donor to the great state of Israel, which is the greatest community ever built by the greatest mechanism of culture, the highest echelon of being a part of a community, and that is when you feel comfortable enough to goon with them, okay?
In a society where it's this hard, we don't have to contribute to a society where it gets harder. Maybe if some social attitudes were changed a little bit, maybe it wouldn't be so hard. I hope our generation and the generations younger than us put in real work to at least make this problem not as bad.
You know, the joke we live in a society, the chat is bringing up. Ironically, the way things are set up right now, as we see, as so many men and women are alienated from each other and do not actually have friend groups, right? Do not have partners that they can define as how we have defined partners for so long, is kind of insinuating that no, these are just segmented individuals floating like atoms next to each other but not really interacting. So funnily enough, no, Joker, you were wrong. We do not live in a society right now. That is a problem. We need to make society. Ha ha, hot takes, man.
Or at least not make it any...
I don't like people. Snarky one, very good name with the question goes. I don't like people. Is there a community for me? Yes, of people who don't like people. There you go.
Worse. That's where my bar is. I'm not even holding my breath that will make this bar of...
You'll be surprised. You can sit together and not like other people. And you will like each other because you don't like people. Literally. You will like the people that don't like people. So you don't like people. You only don't like people who like people.
Not making things worse due to all the comments that are like, this is your worst take. I can't believe that you like other people. But boy, oh boy, I'm gonna try because my new will to power is just loving and meeting people and talking about the importance of it. I really wish that Nietzschean Ubermensch stuff was like represented by a guy who like hugs his friend. Okay, let me end this video by addressing something I hear a lot on this channel, which is like, people view me as this guy who like is always on and never breaks character. He's ironic all the time. He's so committed to the bit. But I just want to make this really clear. I am very genuine and loving with the people who are in my real life. For people that I don't know or don't trust, yeah, I mean, maybe irony is sometimes a tool I will use in order to get some privacy and distance from those people. But for the people who are in my life, especially people who are in my physical proximity, I'm very open and very loving. And I think that's an important thing to be. I use irony plenty of times to deal with people that I don't know or
But yeah, okay, how to cure irony poisoning? Honestly, it's kind of easy. Get over yourself. It is okay for you to care about things. Why do you go into the irony poisoning direction? Because you're afraid that the thing you care about is going to fall apart. Well, I'm sorry if this is mind-blowing, but absolutely every single aspect of your life, be it from finding love, from finding purpose, from, I don't know, fucking painting your car, can potentially be disappointing. As we said previously, fuck bliss. If ignorance is bliss, fuck bliss. If loneliness is bliss, fuck bliss. Because it's not. It's literally not. You will be hurt. You will go through all the fucking cycles, just like a trillion, billion, quadrillion people before you have. Okay? So the argument, I don't want to go into something because it can potentially be painful or it can potentially lead to nothing, is like saying, I don't want to jump because there's gravity. I don't want to run because I've been walking, because walking feels much more comfortable or sitting feels much more comfortable. It's like a part of the whole spiel, my dude. It's something that you cannot avoid, so you might as well just go for it.
Trust to express confused or garbled thoughts about something, to create spectacle, and to express genuine ideas in a fun way. But I do bring it down from time to time, and I'm getting better at bringing it down from time to time, because it's not just a wall that needs to stay up all the time. And in fact, knowing how to bring it down is what makes you not irony poisoned. And I don't want to be irony poisoned, because that kills you. And it's killed my colleague. And I don't know, that's like a good reminder to not do it. Okay? Makes sense? You really don't have to be on the same page as me here. In fact, you should comment, hey, good one, Greg. Nice acting. Good acting on that one.
Hello and welcome back to Jarvis Johnson Gold.
The fuck is my mouse?
Community.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, there we go. We solved irony poisoning, chat. Congratulations to you, chat. Good job, chat. Irony poisoning in the past. No more irony. There is no more irony. Caring about things good. Caring about things too much. Maybe not as good. Indeed. Bravo, bravo. Yeah, exactly, Hasanabi Industries. J-Reg is so brain broken. I love him and I hate him. Thank you, Ebryjet, for continuing your sub. Thank you very kindly. Let's see. I'm too mad. Yeah, I don't care about that fucking freak. Nazi doesn't know who to support. Both sides bad. Okay, yeah, thank you, Ebryjet, for the sub and for supporting the great state of Jisrael, as well as the previous anonymous gifter for supporting the great state of Jisrael. Xi Jinping confirmed, supporter of Jisrael, the great goon state, which we will build on the great island. Okay, and now we move into the next topic. I have so many ready here. Okay, let's talk about, I mean, this is kind of relatively related with
people call
being irony poisoned. And I just saw that Hassan went on this fucking podcast or whatever, and one of the things that they talk about is the so-called socialist grift, which for a lot of people that make money out of and are able to support themselves by pushing the socialist idea, do it very much so through the lens of being irony-pilled, because they kind of tell themselves that if socialism was to be achieved, then my job would no longer exist, and I might need to go and plant some fucking tomatoes or something. So they do it just as a grift and not necessarily as something that they want to see happen. And in my opinion, Hassan very much so is not that type of person. So I was interested to see what kind of conclusions they might be coming to. But before that, in exactly 10 seconds, an ad is going to play. Do not watch ads and support this socialist grift. Socialist grifts are at odds with ads. So subscribe for $5 of free through Prime. Support the socialist grift instead of Jeff Bezosian advertising grifts. Remember, ad grifts are the enemy of the socialist grift. Thank you kindly. Okay, so where are the fucking... How can I see the actual segments of the fucking thing? Okay, intro, closing, where Hassan doesn't invest in stocks. Hassan is champagne socialist, are unpaid. Hassan thinks squatters are dope. The media anti-vote. Hassan's taught in the AI. How coffee radicalized. Why blue states. Thank you, Romka, for the 100 bits. Hassan dropped some Marxist talking points without saying they are Marxist, and the liberals ate them up, no questions asked. That's his brilliant. That's where he's so good. That's why he's so good on that starting stage of radicalization. His favorite Republican policies. Okay, I think they fucking removed it. But okay, let's start with, is Hassan a champagne socialist? And for those of you who do not know what this term means, this is commonly used to throw at socialists that are financially stable. Being financially stable does not make you a non-socialist. Exploiting labor is what does, okay? Making money off of others' labor is what does. Owning the good old means of production and reproduction in the great state of Jisrael is what does. So, when you are very poor, they call you a jealous little piece of shit for being a commie, and if you are doing well, they call you a hypocrite, because in their brains, communism equals poverty, and in the great rhetoric of Deng Xiaoping, poverty indeed is not socialism. Okay? Then what about Engels? Yeah, got him so good, brother. Got him so good. Mods, please calibrate the topic name. Okay, let's rapid fire into this.
From people that I don't think is appropriate to ask of.
So one thing that is a common controversy that
Hugo, your refutation of socialism equals poverty cult mindset has probably contributed in some way to me trying to make my apartment actually look nice. Of course, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, you should make your apartment look nice. You should enjoy nice things. You should live an okay life. If you can make an extra buck while trying to minimize the amount of damage you output, you should fucking do it. There's always going to be damage because the damage is a systematic consequence. not something you can really avoid. It doesn't mean, oh, I can use that as an excuse to dive deep in and let's fucking join Nestle and fucking go and steal some fucking water wells from Ghanaians, right? No, of course not. But you should also not put the weight of the entire system's immorality on your own fucking back. You fucking stupid. Thank you, Echo Waves, for giving another child soldier to the great state of Gunj, Israel. So, in that name, let us see what they talk about.
That people accuse you of is the Champagne Socialist. Can you explain what a Champagne Socialist is?
I think a Champagne Socialist is born out of the misunderstanding that like socialism implies that you have to be poor, that like you cannot be successful, and that like everyone has the same thing. Like it's socialism is about like instituting by force the same standards of existence for everyone. You know, the gray city blocks come to mind. You know, social housing. Soviet era.
Maybe equity instead of equality.
Yeah, exactly. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, that bearded Santa Claus looking man wrote a whole fucking pamphlet. It's very short, so I call it a pamphlet. It's not necessarily a book. About how everybody being equal is batshit fucking insane and makes absolutely no fucking sense. So yes, in the lower stages, before we get to a post-scarcity society, even in socialism, you will have people that are doing better than others. But what is going to be the main difference? The main difference is going to be that the ones that are doing better than others is because they're just better at things than others. Not because they own things that produce things and therefore are making money through direct exploitation of others' labor. The problem is not doing better than others. The problem is doing it yourself. Okay? Not doing it yourself, pardon me. Okay? I think this is like, everybody should know this, okay? Everybody should know this.
Thank you so much. It is about equity instead of...
What about generational wealth? Fuck that shit. No. Nobody should be able to inherit anything.
Equality. That's what people misunderstand about socialism. It is not about equity instead of equality at all. We don't have...
But inside of this system, like almost everybody has some sort of generational wealth. Some have real material, like generational pass on, and you know, they can be like really bravo and they just give it up. Okay, you're a very good person. But the other ones that don't and continue to play the fucking game, I'm not exactly going to sit here and shit on them for playing the game the way it's set up. Okay? It's again, it's liberal moralizing. It's like picking and choosing what is good, what is bad. But yes, of course, intergenerational wealth will be banned fully. Like
material equality as a baseline in this country. We don't have that at all. I'm advocating for a baseline of material equality, and I'm advocating for better worker protections, better worker rights, and less alienation from labor and more autonomy, that everyone can have a say because they are a part of the puzzle, that everyone that touches a project.
When did the equity equality conversation take over? Marx and Engels wrote specifically against it. Well, it took over during the fucking Cold War, when propaganda against the system was initiated and put into fucking overdrive. And they managed to convince the so-called middle-class people that their interests are more in line with those of their bosses and their exploiters, because they pointed at some poorer group and they told them, yo, the communists are gonna make you equal to the poor guy, while ignoring the fact that you yourself, as functioning in a society that has so much fucking wealth, statistically, are also incredibly fucking poor, you dumb fucking schmuck, okay? But no. Or in their terms, you could be much wealthier, even though, again, this terminology would not apply to a socialist system at the lower stages even.
Also has some level of say in what gets done with the surplus labor. So it has nothing to do with, like, you know, making sure everyone is poor or whatever the fuck people think about socialism. I don't really care too much about it as far as like as far as an own. Like people will be like, socialism, but you have an iPhone, or socialism because these like dumb things that you buy that are very expensive, which is true. I do. I buy fucking expensive shit from time to time, I'm an idiot, but I've always, these are things that I wanted to buy. Of course, it's not I don't find that to be like, I guess, a marker for your political beliefs at all.
So
there are levels to it, though, for sure.
Right, but to a casual viewer that just kind of hears about you and maybe sees a few clips of you, a lot of the times it's like ranting on people, like wealthy people, and people need to be taxed more. There's a privileged person, and then they look at your lifestyle and they see that you bought this fancy, $3 million house or whatever. You have a Porsche. You got you got canceled for $1,000 shirt that you wore to Coachella.
I did, yeah. That was so, God. Anyway.
But you see how this juxtaposition.
No, I don't see this fucking juxtaposition because it is not a fucking juxtaposition. Nobody's talking shit about how even inside of the capitalist system, how you spend your money as somebody who does not participate in labor exploitation. Ultra hot take. You can be a millionaire fucking proletarian. Yes, you fucking can. Some brilliant coder guy, some brilliant fucking engineer, etc., etc. You know why? Additionally, because if you made $1 million while working for somebody else, that means that you made your boss at least 10 million. Okay? So you got fucked even harder. And additionally, if you're doing okay, and yet you still choose to be against this system, you have a lot more to lose than us fucking broke boys who are like, oh, we want socialism because we only have things to gain. So class traders, as we see them, but also the labor aristocracy inside of capitalism, as long as they do not participate in fucking labor exploitation, absolutely can be fucking comrades. Nothing wrong there, my brother.
Would confuse a lot of people.
Would it be suggested that you spread some of that money around? Absolutely fucking yeah. Would it be suggested that, for example, your praxis is somebody who has a lot of money because it's not capital if you're not investing it to make more capital, okay? If you take that money and invest it in organizations, give it to organizations, it wouldn't be investing. Buy a couple of AKs for some brothers and sisters over in, where currently they might need some, etc., etc. There are ways that you, because you have more wealth, should be contributing financially more to the cause. That argument can absolutely be made. But you cannot be a socialist because expensive house, eat my fucking ass.
People and be like, this guy seems like a little bit hypocritical.
Yeah, no, for sure. I understand that. But there's nothing I can do beyond the fact that, this is not explaining that this is not inherently contradictory to the things that I advocate for, especially considering that, I have no issues with being...
And in lower stages of socialism, post-revolution or evolution, whatever the fuck you believe in, there will not be a need for a fucking millionaire, so there will be no millionaire proletarians, because nobody would need to accumulate so much. The reason we need to accumulate so much right now is because shit is insanely fucking expensive. Because how expensive shit is based on the fucking market regulating it, and not the people's state or, fucking direct democracy, etc., etc. This is thank you, Maneater, for resubbing and rejoining the great goon army of Israel. Thank you and welcome.
Tax more. I pay the tax rates that I do in California that you probably know better than I do. And although the spending on those taxes is not the best,
to make very large amounts of money in this system without feeling necessarily bad. Pro tip: make a co-op. Make a co-op. Make a fucking co-op. And especially if you are the founder and therefore the main manager of it, but keep in mind in the co-op, they will be able to elect you out of it, right? You will be making the most money, but you will not be making 70% of the fucking profits. You will be making 20, and you will be fucking filthy rich, but you will not be exploiting anybody, because the other employees will also, not employees, the other cooperative owners will also be making a fucking buck, okay? I'm not saying cooperatives are a fucking solution to capitalism. Far from it. Are you fucking kidding me? Have you listened to anything I've ever said? But inside of this current system, if you really want to be wealthy, but you really don't want to fuck anybody over, that's your path. There you go. Fucking Hot take. That's the path.
Wish that they would spend it.
Also, please, mods, adjust the titles. Thank you very much.
Better. I still see that as my patriotic duty, knowing that at least some percentage of that is still going to places that desperately need it, like schooling, like the roads, and you know, whatever social amenities that are offered, the marginal amount of public transit that we do have, I guess. Overall, it's not inherently contradictory. It's not about, socialism is not about, you know, forcing people to live a certain set of standards, and but that's impossible for me to change the mindset of every American. We are all conditioned to hate socialism in general. I think I've talked about this before, but I think one of the worst things that I ever said in my career was,
and not to fucking glaze this fucking guy up or whatever, but him understanding this and him placing himself in the particular part of the funnel that he places himself in does fucking more than enough of a good job to further on when they, you know, trickle down to my show, for example. I'm kidding. To push them further into actual organizing, an actual fucking mentality, class conscious mentality, right?
Was openly admitting that, or not even like saying I'm not a socialist. I wish I had never done that. It doesn't matter what I advocate.
Hasanabi Industries, are you the real Hasanabi Industries? Brother pays my bills, I'ma glaze him. Yeah, my friend. Fuck yeah. You guys are kind of like the Hasanabi Industrial Complex is kind of a literal fucking co-op. Yes, it is. Hello, I'm a fan. You are literally the fucking like a co-op, but like a disconnected co-op to an extent. But Hassan himself, to an extent, is like the product, the commodity, and then you distribute to the commodity. Interesting shit.
For if I had never said that, and there are plenty.
It's a decentralized. Yeah, it's a fucking anarchist co-op.
Many people who don't, that have almost identical values to
Ugopnik Industries
me, that are received in a much more favorable light. As a matter of fact, celebrated.
Or one could joke that you, Hasanabi Industries, you're a exploiter of Hassan because you take his labor and you repost it. Oh, fuck.
For how kind and how open-minded they are. But when you...
By the way, if anybody wants to clip any of my shit and post it absolutely anywhere, you're more than fucking welcome to. If I copyright anybody, I will cut my dick off and eat it in like live, okay?
Get hit with that socialism sticker. Everybody goes, oh, Venezuela, Stalin. You want, you know, cultural revolution in this country. And or whatever they think the socialist boogeyman is. I think that was a major L for me, I guess, but because I'm so fucking stubborn, I just, you know, I can't shut.
Holy shit, you joke, but I made a channel for that purpose. Haven't uploaded yet though, yeah, because I haven't made good shit though, and I need to stream more often. But thank you, fuck yeah. Why the fuck not? Help me get to 1,000 streamer Andy, and then I'm gonna fucking be printing those motherfuckers out.
Shut the fuck up, and I should have. So I grifted a little bit.
So making money and making more money than you need, making more money than you could possibly want, that is all a good thing. And you're saying a true socialist would argue that is totally fine.
Inside of this system, it is totally fine, but nobody will necessarily make more than they need because it would make no sense. Why do you need a lot of money in this system? Why? I'm gonna fucking use fucking monkey words now. Okay, ooga booga. Monkey want to have many banana. No, monkey want to have many coin for two reasons. Because he can buy many banana, but oh my god, economy. So banana become more and more expensive. So for monkey to afford any banana, or at least not have to think about banana every morning when he wakes up in dread, he needs to try and accumulate as much as possible to make sure that when the banana economy goes crazy, he can still afford banana. Ooga booga. That is reason number one. And reason number two is when monkey exists in capitalist jungle, monkey understands that having lots of coins can make you more coins. So monkey wants to have a lot of coins that he will give to other monkeys so that he can can buy trees and then exploit other monkeys to go and get bananas for him. And then they bring 10 bananas to him, but because he owns trees, he gives 8 bananas. He keeps 8 bananas, but gives them only 2 bananas back. And he gets to get more bananas and more coins because he then resells those 8 bananas and more coins and more coins and more coins for himself and more banana trees, and he becomes super powerful. Well, in a different system, you don't get to buy the banana tree. So you do not need a lot of coins, and nobody will accumulate them because why? You do not need to buy the fucking trees. The trees are everybody's, and everybody gets a lot of fucking bananas. But if you're much like smarter than the other monkeys, and you know you're a better climber in this industry of monkey banana trees or whatever the fuck I'm talking about, you will de facto get more bananas, but you will never need to accumulate them. Is that fucking clear enough? Okay.
How you make your money is important.
Okay, sure.
That's the fundamental difference that people don't understand.
And speaking of bananas, in exactly 1.5 minutes, Jeff Bezos is going to try and sell you different types of bananas. Military-industrial complex bananas, diaper bananas, Pepsi bananas, Coca-Cola bananas. Well, you don't have to watch that. And instead, you could give your bananas to me for only 5 bananas a month or for no bananas at all through Prime. Support your OG Twitch monkey, Ugopnik, and subscribe. Thank you.
So I don't
fund.
have investments. I do have I guess, what is it, a 401k or a SEP IRA or something? I have that because like I want to make sure that, you can't work forever, obviously. I do want to have a safety net when I inevitably stop working one day. However, I don't have investments.
Why?
So,
today's stream is absolutely fucking insane. We have the Gooner state of Jisrael, and we have the monkey economy. And right now I called you to subscribe by telling you to give my monkey ass some bananas. I love it. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. This is what I've always wanted to do.
I know everybody always.
Yeah, because that seems silly to me to not want to invest in a country that's given you so much opportunity as well.
I don't see it as a net positive. I think that overall that is the fundamental difference between someone who is a capitalist or someone who makes money via capital accumulation versus someone who makes money via their labor. I make all of the money that I make off of as ethical means as I possibly can conduct. What I mean by that is, like, I have merchandise. This is my own merch, right? It's made in the United States, and it's made with unionized garment manufacturers. This, of course, destroys the profit margins that I would normally have, but it doesn't matter because, like, that is the most sustainable, most ethical way that I can make this product. I do it not because like, oh, I'm going to make some extra money on the side. It's marginal in comparison to what I could be making. These are $35 t-shirts made in the United States of America.
But you're not investing just doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
because let's just say your house, for example, $3 million. I'm sure I'm rounding up. Maybe it's worth that, $3 million.
I got it for $275. I don't know what it is now.
So let's just say it's worth $3 million today. How would it be any different for you to buy a $1 million house and invest $2 million in the stock market? Or instead of buying the Porsche?
King Widora, how can you argue against paying more taxes than tout to the importance of investing in your country? Yeah, because bourgeois thinking brain rot, my dude. This is ideologia. It can't like go through their skull, especially because the gentleman is bourgeois himself, and it just can't hit it, right? Like he can't hit it.
I do it not because these.
Well, because let's just say your house, for example, $3 million.
I want to hear this argument. I'm living for this.
I'm sure I'm rounding up. Maybe it's worth that. $3 million.
I got it for $275. I don't know what it is now.
So let's just say it's worth $3 million today. How would it be any different for you to buy a $1 million house and invest $2 million in the stock market, or instead of buying the Porsche, to buy a Volkswagen Jetta for 20 grand and the other 100, let's just say,
because he can't live in the stock. Because he can't drive the stock.
into the stock
accumulation.
market.
I would rather buy something nice.
He's not a stock guy, yeah.
Than buy something cheaper and then take the rest of the money and invest it in the stock market.
Do you
but
think
beyond that, there's already
My brothers, do you have a stock house?
there is a lot of money that I could be investing right now. And
what is it doing?
Nothing. Either nothing or
So
I
it-
just
but
I-
so
or I
it- but
just
then it's
or
worse
just spend
off,
it. Or I
because,
spend
like,
it on
in a-
donations.
but
in
I
the
feel like-
capital appreciation, I think putting it in a Porsche is worse for the economy than you investing $100,000 into stocks.
Man, the fucking brain rot, my dude. My fucking brain rot, my dude. Thinking that something that is good for the economy is indirectly good for the majority of the people of the fucking country. Thinking that Apple stock going up is how you do your patriotic duty, my dude. Oh my fucking God, my dude. I'm saying I prefer fascists. I prefer fascists. I prefer fascists. To this is fintech fascism. This is like, oh my God. Sorry, I'm gonna get a heart attack.
At
So
least
I'll vape.
if it goes into the economy, you could argue that it supports businesses with investments that they
That
could
other
then
people
use,
are also invested in that could be put into like an ETF that people have their retirements in.
and then you're taxed on that as well.
No,
that
I-
if you
I
go and sell
understand.
it for a profit, it's going to go.
I already get fucking taxed on everything.
Right.
Because like I'm not investing anything at all.
But in a
Like-
banking account, I feel like that is the most exploitative thing because they just go sell off loans to people like high interest
for
car
sure.
loans and stuff like that, rather than in the stock market where people
why
can
not?
invest.
Yeah, instead of investing in corporations that are exploiting their employees and now are getting an influx of external funding that allows them to exploit their employees even more because they no longer need to exclusively rely on the performance of their products in the actual market.
Yeah, to me,
Because,
it just
because there's no alternative to the banking than to
You can do stock trading as a meme. Fucking, well, Marx himself fucking made, I think, $200,000 in modern time by just fucking buying, selling stock, doing that and shit. But if you have a lot of money and call yourself a socialist, take care of your own fucking interests first because everybody's got to eat. And then if you want to use your money for something else, invest in fucking causes or invest in co-ops, but don't ask for much in return, etc., etc. Those are very okay kind of ways for you to use your so-called capital. I'm not gonna judge you if you go and you fucking play around with stocks. Okay, I'm not. It's another fucking way. I think it's a fucking insanely cringe, stupid way. Especially if you tell me that you're doing a good thing by doing it. If you tell me I'm doing it because I'm making money, then God bless you. Do you, my king? But to do it and to say that that is a mechanism you're using so that you can further the rights of your fellow citizens, you are like. You don't have brain rot. You are brain rot. You are the brain rot.
to me, putting the money underneath my pillow. But it doesn't really matter because, like I said, I usually try to spend as much of it as possible, either on my family or on my friends or on donations. Like I put it back into fundraising initiatives, charity, things of that nature. So that's the way I operate. It's probably very stupid. I know everybody always says it's like financially unsound for me to do that, but I think that it is.
I don't know what other way to retire. Chain Fire X. No, if that's your way towards retirement, fucking do it. God bless, do it. But just say, I'm doing it because that's my path to retirement. Okay? Not that you're helping the fucking economy, my dude.
That is less at odds with my values than taking all of the extra money. Because aside from like the flashy shit that you just brought up, like my expenses are nowhere near like the amount of money I make. I could be living a way more lavish lifestyle, I guess, than the way I do, because I'm very fortunate and I do the things that I love doing, which is unfortunately for me, I guess, sitting in front of a fucking computer and yelling for 8 to 10 hours a day. So I do that 7 days a week. I'm in my house. So if I'm using something a lot, like my house, yeah, then, and I live with my family, I need it to be a big enough house that like they can live there as well. And that makes me happy.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that he lives with his family. That makes the purchase even more fucking logical.
And then I'm good.
So what's your plan for retirement? Let's just say, you know, you're 70 years old one day. You don't have any investments. I would assume that you'd want to pay it off house or something. But
yeah, property
tax. What would you do in the event that Social Security is not enough to pay for what
Probably
you need to
won't
live?
Well, like I said, that's why I have the SEP IRA, SCP IRA, whatever it's
SEP
called.
IRA, but I
Yeah.
doubt you'd be able to accumulate enough to replace your current lifestyle expenses within that alone. And even within that, you still have to invest.
No, my current lifestyle expenses are entirely adjusted to how much money I currently do make. I don't think I would be, you know, flying around the world or whatever. Like I went to Australia. If I don't have a lot of money, I'm not going to do that. It is what it is.
I think to be able to retire where we are in Los Angeles, you need about $5 million minimum to have an income of, let's say, 125 grand a year after tax in California. 90.
Like their brain is de facto wired. How do I stay being filthy rich forever? And how do I do this in the easiest fucking way ever? While contributing to broader society in no fucking way whatsoever. I said ever 3 times. Thank you.
Which is a pretty reasonable salary for where we are. So that's $5 million that would need to come somewhere and need to be invested to be able to give you those returns.
See, even with the SBI IRA, I still don't have a credit card, by the way.
No, I think we talked about this. Right?
I know.
You said you're going to get a credit card.
I still haven't got one. Even with the SBI IRA, like I was reluctant at first to get it. I didn't want to get it at all because I thought that it was like cheating, kind of, because like then I am technically accumulating capital. But like there needs to be an appropriate government substitute in normal circumstances, and there isn't one. Like there is no Social Security is basically nothing, and then beyond that, there is no pension structure in.
Right, left 5 minutes. You're already grilling those lips. Isn't that what we always do? Take out a nice little grill and put them lips on it. Some barbecue sauce, some good old mayonnaise on a bread. Yes, brother.
The field that I'm in, but even if there was a pension structure, it's non-existent in most industries in general. So then it's like, well, I have no alternative, which is why I was forced to concede on that front. But beyond that, I think I will go at it for as long as I can, and when I am no longer able to, then I'll figure it out.
But even the money that's just sitting in your bank account, I'm assuming like it's probably more in alignment with your morals to be putting that in an index fund or something like that.
Well, I mean, like I said, I usually give it to like I will buy things for my family instead, like so I don't have a lot of money sitting in my bank account.
That is fascinating. This is like, I mean,
That's
we've
so
never
opposite
talked
of-
to anybody that does that. I mean, it's generous. It's very generous.
You could spend.
We have not talked to anybody who is not interested in making wealth from wealth and actually wants to better the lives of their direct family and the broader cause. This is absolutely mind-blowing to us. And it is mind-blowing to them. Because as we talked here like 700,000 fucking times, there is no such thing as human nature on these fucking topics. It is your ideological structure that informs what normal behavior is. And for these guys, a constant and eternal drive to have more zeros on that good old bank account is more important than absolutely anything else. That's why these guys are like, dude, drive a fucking 30-year-old beater, but more zeros in bank account. Dude, live in a fucking empty room with a fucking, mattress on the fucking ground and invest all of that in GameStop because more zeros in your fucking bank account. They think they're more sophisticated than the guys that just use it for instant gratification, for the fucking dudes with Louis Vuitton hats and bags and shit. While saving money for what? For potential retirement, so that when I'm old and completely broken, I get to finally live, when I will probably not even feel like living the type of life that I can enjoy in my goddamn youth. This is Ugopnik enjoying life Maxer arc that we're having here. But, like, that's the fucking truth. That's what they're doing. They're like the guys, the dudes that like are now trying to find a way for them to live forever. And you look at what they do all day, and they just like only exercise and take supplements and eat food that you would never want to eat, so that they can live forever. But they're not forever, so they can live longer, but they're not actually living. Right? So maybe he'll live 20 years longer because he invested 20 years of like a incredibly regimented life, but you're just exchanging 20 for 20. You're not really getting anything out of it. Those two dudes, like, they're trying to experiment on themselves, for society, for medicine. It's more interesting than this. This is just like continuously spending the entirety of your life planning for a future that when it comes, you will not really be enjoying. That doesn't mean that you should not be planning for your future, of course. What the fuck? That's not the argument that I'm making. But if your whole personality is playing for a future that is right behind the mountain that you're trying to climb over, then, well, as we said yesterday, I have a fucking bridge in San Francisco to sell you.
It on us. Listen,
Graham needs a new pair of shoes.
We go to Fogo de Chao. We could go there.
Fogo de Chao is your. See, that's the thing. Like,
what's wrong with that?
No, God, Fogo de Chao.
It's all you could eat, though.
No,
do we need to boycott them? Did they do something wrong?
No. They just. I think that Fogo de Chao.
Sourced.
No. I love eating meat. Don't get me wrong. There's some really good restaurants with like really high quality meat that isn't like,
shout out some restaurants right now for the people watching.
No, actually, I don't want to.
You don't want to out yourself because you go there.
Oh no. I will. If I go to a nice place, if I go to a nice restaurant, I'll talk about it. What, dude? This is the way I see it. Is like that's what the money is for. What the fuck else am I gonna do with it?
But now, why not donate it? Why not just give it?
I do
give it to people.
What do you donate to? What charities?
My mom. He also gives to charities, but also my mom, as he said 10 times.
Oh, okay. I do a lot of fundraising initiatives, and every single time I do, I'm donating like 50 grand, 100 grand here and there. It's strike funds across the country.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we talked about.
Abortion funds. We did a fundraising for releasing aging prisoners, releasing aging persons from prison in New York. Abortion funds in the South. It's just Ukraine, raised a lot of money for earthquake relief in Turkey and Syria. That was like almost, I think it was like $2 million, I think. And then same for Palestine, for Palestinian charities. So here and there, whenever I'm doing...
Thank you, Crafting Cherry, for the donated gift sub. Another soldier for the great Israeli state.
Fundraising, like I will also put in my money as well into fundraising initiatives.
I'm curious, what criticisms of you do you think are fair?
Give me the criticisms, and I'll tell you if I think it's fair or not.
Well, I'm guessing you're aware of all of the criticisms that people criticize.
I mean, but
do you think
what criticism coming from you? Maybe you're not even criticized on it publicly, but you think it's fair.
I get angry a lot. I think I get very emotional, and I get very passionate, and I get baited too frequently by people who want to get a clip off. Like, they'll come into the chat. I have a policy of like allowing everyone to talk to me and to talk to one another. Most places, especially like a political stream, normally would not have that policy in order to be able to conduct themselves in a different way, right? To be able to control the conversation and the narrative. So that sometimes opens up an environment for bad actors where they will come in and they'll say something malicious. They'll say something that is like purposefully incendiary to bait me into like responding in an emotional
Your chat, my zipper was out, like open. You didn't even tell me, you motherfuckers.
way. And I do that 1,000 times a day.